Hey guys, welcome back. So I have been off of the van since right before Christmas. I always take off from Christmas into New Year's, so I actually go back to work tomorrow. So that's why you're not getting any like grooming related videos right now, because I haven't even been out in my van. So here's a video for you. I'm really trying to commit to doing every Monday upload a video. And typically I have something pre-filmed, but today I did not, and I actually almost like broke it like right before I even really got started with this whole like I'm gonna upload on Monday thing, because addressing the elephant in the room, my whole face is scratched up. So I was wearing this bracelet to bed. Can you see? Yeah, you can kind of see the rash on my arm, right? Okay, so wore this bracelet to bed. It's made out of bone, and I like it, but it gave me a rash. So it took me a minute to figure out what caused it, because I just woke up. I woke up this morning, I was literally like asleep, and I wake up and I'm like scratching. I'm like, the fuck? And I go in the bathroom, and like I have makeup on right now, so it doesn't look as bad, but like this, it's horrific. I hate even looking at it. I must have just been sitting there like in my sleep, just scratching myself all to hell. So anyway, I woke up and panicked, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to film a video. Do I even bother? I mean, it's like my neck, everything still itches. It's so hard not to just scratch. I'm so itchy. And I even like took a shower and like tried to like wash it all off and all that. I don't know. I'm gonna go get some Benadryl soon, but I've gotta go. I gotta take Stevie to the vet in like an hour. So anyway, I'm just killing some time and then I'll go do all that. But I can't believe my face. So anyway, that's why I almost didn't get a video today. But I was like, you know what? Let me not mess up my streak before it even gets started over something as vain as like a couple scratches on my face. Like, it's really not that deep. And yeah, I just can't believe it. I've had these nails for like going on 2 years. I've never scratched myself up like this. Like, I literally must have just been sitting there like in my sleep just scratching myself all to hell. So anyway, now is like the ironic part is like the theme of this video, after I was just talking about like how not confident I'm feeling right now. Here's a video on how I feel confident and what makes me feel confident. You know what though? Like, I was like a little embarrassed because I just had to go in the gas station like this, and I've got to go, like I said, take Stevie to the vet. She's got a recheck. I mentioned in my last video that she was at the vet, but I didn't even say in the video why. I like just said it like you guys follow me on Instagram and know what's going on. Stevie had a cherry eye that was just really bad. Like, she wouldn't stop rubbing it on things. It was getting really bad. I was scared her eyeball was gonna fall out. So anyway, I had the cherry eye cut out last Monday. Today we've got to go back for a recheck, just to make sure everything's healing good. But yeah, so anyway, I had to go out today, so that meant I had to get ready. So I figured might as well just do this video. And you know, this really is like, okay, I want to start off by saying, like, I am not like a professional, what would you call it, therapist? Or I don't know how to professionally tell you how to make your life better, okay? But this is the stuff that I did that helped my life and helped me feel better. Because at the end of the day, I thought about it and I was like, you know, not everybody can go seek professional help. And if maybe something I say, you know, gives somebody some inspiration so that they can live a happier, healthier, more confident life, then maybe that's what they need to hear, because not everybody can go to a professional. I have been fortunate enough that I've seen therapists and had professional help throughout my life, but not everybody has. So I just really wanted to talk about, after my last video, there was a lot that I talked about like my confidence and like how much I changed as a person over the last few years. And I got a lot of messages. There's a lot specifically asking about like building confidence after a bad relationship, which kind of goes hand in hand with what we're going to talk about. But this isn't necessarily focused on getting out of a relationship. This is just like across the board. Like, you know, you're tired of having really low self-confidence and you're tired of feeling down all the time and those kind of things, and you want to make a turnaround. These are the things that help me kind of turn it around. Because a couple years ago, like when I was going to a therapist, I felt like for the longest time, like I couldn't open my mouth unless I was talking shit about somebody. And it still makes me so sick to say that, because like I think I'm better than that, than to talk down on people that way. But that's how I was. Like I like didn't feel good about myself unless I was gossiping about somebody else. And it just like hit me one day, because like it was like as I was saying it, like you know, I'd be hanging out with people and we'd be having a great conversation, and then like I could feel myself like ruining it. And I just didn't like who I was. I was not happy with myself as a person, and it really came out in like my confidence. And I think that maybe something about talking down on other people made me feel more confident. I'm not sure. But regardless, these are things that I implemented that helped me find that growth that I needed so that I don't feel so negative and down and whatever anymore. So let's get into it. So the first thing I wrote on this list, now these things I do want to say really quick, it's basically shit you've been told your whole life and it sounds really easy. It's not necessarily. This takes a lot of work. So it's going to be like, you know, I just say this like one short sentence and it's like, wow, world problem solved. And it's like, it really is that simple, but it's not that simple. Like, it's not like you just like, oh, well, I've got to change this thought process. It's changed and I'm good to go. Like, it's like, no, you've got, like, here's your negative thought process and you've got to change it over time. And it's going to take you time and it's going to take you effort. But it is like this simple. Does that make sense? Like, it's a simple saying, but it's going to take a lot to do. I hope that explains it. Okay. So the first thing that I found for me that I had to do to build my confidence was I really had to stop caring what people thought about me. And that's what I mean about, like, sounds easy, like, just stop caring, but it's not. And I still struggle with it, but I care a lot less now than I did before. And I say that because for me, I was so focused on being liked by everybody that I was not being like my true self. And then I'm not being my true self, and then people still didn't like me. So I just kind of figured out basically by being kicked to the very bottom, right? Very, very bottom. I realized, like, you know what? I am like trying really hard to be like what I think everybody's going to like in me, and people still don't like me. So I might as well just be the things that I like in myself. So that is number one. You are going to have to accept that people are just not going to like you. Even if you were the greatest of all time. I mean, we know people, right? You know somebody that all your friends like them and then you just don't for some reason. It's going to be the same thing. Like, some people are going to love the shit out of you and they will love you exactly how you are. And those are the people you need. You don't need to worry about the ones that don't like you. You don't need to bend over backwards to try to make them like you. That's on them. If they don't like you, they don't like you, and that's their problem. So stop worrying so much. And I don't want to say it like that, but work towards worrying less about what other people think. Like, what do you think about yourself? Like, at the end of the day, like, what do you think about yourself and like your personality? Like, because the people I used to surround myself with, they think, you know, they told me, oh, you're very selfish, you're a brat, raised a diva, da-da-da. But I know about me that I can be very generous and very loving. And like, yes, I was born into a family that has money and all that, but I'm always very happy to help other people. Like, if, I don't know, not to even go into scenarios, but like, I know at the end of the day that I am somebody that will help other people that need it. So even though I have those people that's their opinion of me, that's what they think of me, I know that's not true. And that is one of the things that, like I said, it's the hardest to do, but it's the most important, is that you pretty much have to drown out what they think and just know who you are. You know, at the end of the day, do you feel like you typically make the right decisions? Do you always try your best? Those kind of things. And if your answer is yes, I always try my best, and somebody still doesn't like you, that's their problem. That's their problem. You are trying your best and they don't like you, whatever. That's on them, right? Okay. So, and like I said, so not everybody's going to like you. Don't worry about that. I actually kind of went into 1 and 2 in that first. I wrote 5 things that I did, and one was stop making being liked your number 1 priority. And then number 2 is like yourself. And get out of your own way. So like, you really need to, like I said, because not everybody's going to like you. And frankly, even the people that like you are not responsible for boosting your morale 24/7. So you really have to focus on liking yourself. So find the positive things. Like, if you've ever read the book of The Secret, that's what it tells you to do, is to focus on the things you like about yourself. Like, you know, if you have issues with your appearance, for example, like I'm really insecure about these scratches on my face right now, but I love my hair. My hair is so pretty. It makes me like really happy whenever I see my hair. And, you know, I love my nails. I love my tattoos. Like, I love certain aspects of my personality. So when people come to me and they're like, those nails are just atrocious, and like, your hair, why do you have that bright red hair, and why do you wear all that makeup? Aren't you going to regret those tattoos? I'm like, no. It rolls right off of me because I love it about myself. So if somebody else doesn't like it, I'm like, okay, and I didn't know I was dressing for you. You know what I mean? So, like yourself. Really, really focus on that. If you don't like yourself, that's okay. I didn't like myself either. But you have to kind of learn to like yourself. And if there's things about you that aren't good, then you need to work on changing it. And that will make you like yourself more. Like I just said, I used to be somebody that gossiped about people 24/7. And now I really work towards not doing that. And even when like certain gossip is being brought up to me, I really try to like step away from it. So, you know, if there's things that you don't like about yourself, that's okay. You just have to work towards changing it. You can't just be like, well, that's just me, and just give up. Like, well, I mean, you can, but it's just, I think it's better to try to work to be a better person. And then you kind of it takes you back to being like, you'll like yourself more if you feel like you're really working hard to be a good person. Then that's going to make you more likable to you. Does that make sense? Anyway. So number 3, and this one is super, super important, is check your friend group. Check the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And that's my dogs. Sorry, as I've mentioned a million times, like I keep my dogs outside when I'm doing these videos because this is always the time that they want to be like crazy as hell. Like we can sit there all day, and the second I sit down and words start coming out of my mouth, they're like, "Wah!" and like start being crazy. So anyway, they're outside. They probably heard noise and they all started barking. So they'll be fine. We're almost done here. But yes, check your friend group. Now this is so important. Not everybody that is nice to you is doing it for the right reasons. And that is something that I personally struggled with a lot. And I have had, especially like in like the grooming industry, whenever my videos like became like more popular and some of the like bigger name groomers found out about me, a lot of them tried to be like buddy to me. Like people that I knew full well, like they're not people I would hang out with. Like I knew they didn't actually like me like that, but they were being super nice to me because they wanted to be my friend just in case I blew up and became like famous or whatever, so that they could like ride on my coattails basically. And it's really hard when people are being so nice to you and so generous and whatever, and you think that they're doing it for the right reason. You hope they're doing it for the right reason, but a lot of times they're not. So check your friend group. And I see this a lot, if you find yourself up at night wondering, is so-and-so, do they gossip about me behind my back? Like, unless you're just like a paranoid person and you tend to think that about people and they don't, that's not actually true, then otherwise, like, I would really think about that. Because like the people, like I said, that I was surrounding myself with before, I would have those thoughts. I would be up at night and be like, you know, I wonder if so-and-so even really likes me, or if I actually get on their nerves and they've never told me, and da-da-da. I used to sit up at night and think about those kind of things. But when I dropped that whole group of people, because they were friends with like my ex, so I kind of had to distance myself from them, I realized that the new people I surround myself with, I don't find myself wondering about that. Like I said, there are the people, like I said, that I don't want to just say the grooming industry. It's like in general, like because I've had it happen with like just normal people that I know that found out I'm a business owner, and it's kind of the same thing. Like some people, they want something from you, and other people just want genuine friendship. And it's so clear as day when you find somebody that is just genuinely, they want to be your friend. Like my assistant Becca is probably like arguably my best friend. Like she understands me so well. Like I never find myself wondering if Becca's talking about me. Like she's just not that way. Like she wouldn't, you know? And since I don't surround myself with those people anymore, I don't have those worries anymore. And like I said, just checking your friends and like focusing. I'm not saying that everybody that you don't think is like a real friend, that you got to cut them off. Like there are plenty of people that probably think they're a lot closer to me than I think that I am to them for that reason or whatever, but I'm not ever here to like be a bitch to them. It's just like I realize like, hey, this person views me as this, so that means I don't need to put 110% effort into this relationship to make this person like me when they probably really don't. You know what I mean? Like, so it just kind of helps me put values on relationships. That sounds terrible. That's not like, I guess it is how I mean it, but that sounds really bad. Like, cause it's like, I value some people over others, but I guess that's life, isn't it? Like, that's how it is. Like the people like Becca that I know are like my fucking, you know, they're there for me. The OGs, my real fucking friends. Like, yeah, I prioritize her a lot over like the people in the grooming industry that I know just hit me up because they want something from me, that they, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I do prioritize that way. So when I realize like, hey, this is a good person, this is a good friend, they're more valuable to me than somebody that I'm like, I think you're just being friends or being nice to me because da da da. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I hope that didn't sound terrible. It probably does. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest though. This is like really how I feel. Like, if somebody, like, you don't feel like they're being a good friend to you, then don't put that much effort into the friendship. Like I said, it's not that you have to be like, well, fuck you, I'm not your friend anymore. Like, no, you don't have to do that, but just don't put that much effort in. Like, don't feel like you got to bend over backwards for that person if they wouldn't do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the next thing on my list that I have, and I think this is another really important one, do things you're good at. Do things you're good at, okay? Whether that be painting, music, you know, even like, I'm good at, like, I've always had jobs as like assistant managers and like in management and stuff like that, and I love doing like management type things because when I step back after I've accomplished something, I'm really proud of it. It's like, you know, I would imagine, I can't paint, but I would imagine that's the same feeling you get like after you paint like a really beautiful picture and you step back and you look at it and you're like, this is incredible. Like, I can't believe I did this. And that really boosts your self-confidence because you're like, wow, I'm really good at something. Like, look at how good I am at this. And it's like, I think that just like boosts your morale. And I think it's good too to have hobbies. Like, that's something that I too want to focus more on. Like, I have like my few things I do, but I would like to have more like real hobbies to do in my downtime. But the things that like I really like to sing. I don't think I'm amazing at it or anything, but that's something that like after a long stressful day, like being able to like scream a song at the top of my lungs, like, just get it out, get that like out, you know what I'm saying? Like, makes me feel so good. So yeah, do things that you're good at, things that you enjoy. Like, I think when we just work, sleep, repeat, like, that's when we start getting so burnt out, because at the end of the day, like, I love my job and I am so fortunate to have a job that I love to do, but at the end of the day, it is my job. And I enjoy grooming dogs, but it's not something I would do as a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I do it because I need to pay my bills and because dogs need to be groomed and because I think we need more groomers out there and stuff like that. Like, that's why I do it, but that's not the epitome of me as a person. You know, like, I have things that I enjoy doing as a hobby. Like, I love doing my makeup. I love singing. I like writing. Just being honest, I like writing. But you know, do things like that. Do things that like make your heart happy. I think those things are so important. And like I said, when you step back after you finish that thing and you've like created something beautiful, it boosts your confidence. It makes you feel good about yourself. You're like, damn, look at me being talented and shit. You know what I'm saying? So do more things like that, girl. You're entitled to it. Okay. And the last and like probably the hardest thing personally for me is to say the things that you are afraid to say. Like, you know, like you're sitting back and somebody says something and you're like, I want to say this, but I'm going to say this. Like, I think there's a fine line. Like, you don't want to be like blatantly rude, but you also don't want to like sugarcoat to the point that you didn't even get to say like what your heart wanted you to say, you know? And like, that's one thing that I have really struggled with. Like, I'll give you this example. This was kind of funny. I got asked out on a date by this guy that I used to have like a big crush on in high school. And frankly, like, I'm not, this is gonna sound terrible. Y'all are gonna be like, this girl's the worst by the end of this video. But anyway, he asked me out, and like I said, I'm not really that attracted to him anymore, but I think he's kind of funny, which that works for me. I like to laugh, so if somebody can make me laugh, that's cool. Well, anyway, so he asked me out for some beers, and I was like, I don't really want beer. And, you know, several years ago, I would have just been like, yeah, that's fine. And I would have gone and gotten a beer I didn't even like just to, like, make this guy happy. And so I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to settle to, like, accommodate this guy. Like, I don't like beer, so I'm not gonna go drink beer, right? So I texted him back and I was like, well, yeah, I was like, I mean, I'd be down for that. I was like, but honestly, I'm more of a mixed drink kind of girl. And he messaged me back and he said, he's like, I'm also a mixed drink kind of girl. And he's like, and my zodiac sign is mimosa. And I personally find it so cringy when a guy feels like he has to make fun of a girl to flirt, and it's like, you're gonna make fun of astrology, babe. Like, I've got a Libra symbol on my fucking wrist. So I like sat there, and like I said, a few years ago, I would have been embarrassed that he said that. Like, I would have been embarrassed at myself, like, oh, I should have just drank the beer or whatever. But literally, like, I read that and I was like, instantly like, yeah, well, we're not going on a date, are we? So I messaged him back and I just said, ha, good one. And then he changed the subject. Oh, asked me for a haircut, by the way. But like I said, a few years ago, I would have gone out on that date and it probably would have gone terribly. We wouldn't have even been compatible and all of that. But because I spoke up and said, like, hey, like, I don't really like beer, let's go get mixed drinks, a different aspect of his personality came out that I may not have seen if I would have said that. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was still trying to hit me up. Like, he was still interested. I was not. So, anyway, like I said, when you speak up and say the things that need to be said, sometimes, like, you get more positive results. Like, I really saved myself a bunch of time on that one. Like, not that I thought that we were gonna like date long term. Like, even if we'd gone out for just beer, I knew it was gonna be like a one date kind of thing. But I was like, you know what, I need to get out more, so I'll do it. And like I said, now I know, because I was upfront, that me and him have zero compatibility whatsoever. So that's cool. Save myself some time. So anyway, and it made me feel good that I said what I wanted to say, rather than going out and settling because I don't want to hurt this guy's feeling that I don't want beer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid. So anyway, I hope that makes some sort of sense to you guys, that example. So yeah, I don't know. This video is kind of all over the place, but I did want to talk about a couple things that I did that helped me rebuild my confidence, and will build confidence in the first place, because honestly, when I was younger, I wasn't very confident either. I was never very popular in school. I was not, like, I really didn't even hit, like, I didn't start being pretty until after high school, really, and that's when, like, all these people started paying me attention and stuff like that, and I started realizing, like, hey, maybe I'm pretty kind of thing, you know? So I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was younger. So over the last, like, year, almost 2 years, because it's been since me and my ex broke up, this is what I've been focused on, are these couple of things. And like I said, it sounds like small things, like, you know, stop trying to be liked by everybody sounds so simple, but that's something I'm still working on. I'm still, like, find myself sometimes, like, that feeling insecure, like, what if so-and-so doesn't like me or whatever. Like, it's a long-term battle, but the less I care about what people think, the happier I feel in myself. So anyway, this video is kind of random, but you know what? I know that a lot of people come here for the dog grooming stuff, and that's great, but like I said earlier, I'm not just a dog groomer. I love sitting down and talking about, like, real life shit, whether it be in person. I love, like, in-depth conversations in person. Like, I'll sit there and talk to you about the universe kind of person, you know what I mean? And I like to talk to you guys on camera, and this is, like I said, with the, like, do things that you feel you're good at. Like, I feel like I'm really good at blabbing on camera, you know? Like, I can, like, really just go on forever. So, and this is something I enjoy, and like I said in my last video, I like watching my videos back, and even I, like, say stuff, sometimes I watch it back, and I'm like, damn, bitch, you kind of know what you're talking about, huh? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of random, but I wanted to think of something that would be helpful to people, that would be something I can film right now without having to get in the van, because I'm just like, it's my last day. I love her, but I'll be there tomorrow, Vanny, okay? I'll be out there tomorrow. Don't worry about it. So anyway, I'm gonna go let my dogs in, and then I gotta go take Stevie to the vet for her recheck. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next Monday. Goodbye.